Hi, my name's Frew. I'm the CEO and founder of iasset.com. Hopefully you've watched the two previous ones, or this one may not make as much sense. This one's all about you've set up your ERP system, you've set up your CPQ to quote and configure properly, you've trapped all of your renewals, that's all running fantastically, and you're trapping the install base, so as a distributor, which reseller and which customer. Because you've got all this information, you remove channel conflict completely from the conversation because you know who is connected to who. But what do you do with install base? Now in iasset.com we geotag everything, so we know exactly where it is on the planet, or if you're a customer of ours, you know exactly where it is on the planet. And you can then start dealing with end of life, end of sale, expand and extend campaigns. So to go back a bit, the distribution or channel part of the market need to deal with four things: land, expand, extend, protect. Now, what does that actually mean? So land is you need to get net new sales, and a lot of people are very, very focused on net new sales. Often the rest of this product lifecycle piece gets ignored in very successful times when net new sales are going very well for you. The others tend to be neglected. It's only when net new sales, for economic conditions or whatever the case may be, when they start to slow, does the company start examining what next. So expand is about how you sell more of the same product. So expand might be you've sold some Cisco gear, you want to sell more Cisco gear on top. You want to add options, associated products. We've got people looking for reference type architectures. So you want to be able to mine the base for that. Then there's extend. So where, again, you have relationships between your vendors that exist higher up the food chain. You want to be able to go and find one vendor's products and then deploy it, mine the base for another vendor's products that matches those two that are complementary. Now, only if you're properly tracking the install base and you understand what products, what part numbers, everything there is to know about those customers, can you then put a proposal to your reseller base to then go and sell out these extend campaigns to the customer base. And finally, the most neglected part of the channel as far as product is concerned is end of life and end of sale. End of life is dealt with spectacularly badly. Most distributors ignore it if they're communicated to. Some manufacturers broadcast it through RSS feeds. There are some that do a very, very good job of communicating it out in their price lists so that system or platforms like iasset.com can ingest them and start automatic processes on behalf of the distributor or the reseller to make sure we don't miss that opportunity. But end of life, I've seen more opportunities in end of life in some of the install base than there is in renewals, and it's just no one's bothered to deal with it. So my recommendation as you get larger is that you give someone the responsibility for your product life cycles or your install base, whatever you want to call it, so that you're not missing all these opportunities. It pains me to tell you how many people have not touched any of these opportunities. And it's not hard because you're already dealing with the reseller, you're already dealing with the end customer, or they're dealing with the end customer. So you've got the relationship in place already. It's just a matter of going out with a quote and showing them what they need to do to bring it up to spec or upgrade the devices. So install base is a critical component for all channel players, but particularly in distribution because you are the middle of the data flow. Now, lots of distributors have tried to build their own systems or add it to other ERP systems. That's spectacularly short-sighted because this data is so valuable that trying to get or build another system to do all of this is just a bridge too far. Not forgetting the actual coding of the system, but also the support and maintenance and drivers internally of others. I don't know any distributors or resellers that really have built their own ERP systems. You license it because, when Oracle and SAP NetSuite, etc., get out of bed every day, they're adding more features, functions, and technology to that thing without fail, just like we do to iasset.com. So, install base, critical component. Expand and extend campaigns are where you need to start focusing, especially if economies start to shrink. And it's certainly a lot easier to go after your existing base than it is to try and find new ones. I hope that was of value. Thanks, and we'll talk about some other aspects of distribution on the next